When the sun sets and the world goes dark, it's an oft-repeated phrase, there are no such things as monsters. But there are plenty of people who disagree, and plenty of people who have their own real-life encounters with terrifying monsters. Virginia probably isn't the first place you'd expect to find a pack of killer primates, but according to some witnesses, the state is crawling with murderous monkeys. Locals call these creatures devil monkeys as they resemble gigantic baboons with long canine snouts. The devil monkeys come equipped with long tails and kangaroo-like back legs, allowing them to jump insane distances. While they're usually reported to be about 4 feet tall, 6-foot-tall beasts have been sighted. With their red eyes, sharp claws, and ultra-aggressive attitudes, it should come as no surprise that devil monkeys don't get along with their human neighbors. According to a woman named Pauline Boyd, her parents were driving near Saltville, Virginia, when they were suddenly attacked by a powerful creature. The Boyd couple described the monster as having light taffy-colored hair with a white blaze down its neck and underbelly. The creature was running on its back 2 legs, and as the Boyds frantically tried to drive away, the devil monkey slashed at the vehicle, leaving massive scratch marks on the side of the car. A few days later, the devil monkey returned with other attacks. Since then, the devil monkeys have been seen multiple times throughout the years. Still no sign of the devil monkey king, though.
I'm the Monkey King. And what in the 7 hells are you supposed to be?
I am a nightmare.
Washington, D.C. has been the reported home of the demon cat since the 1800s, and it's been seen by a surprising number of people. When the phantom feline once appeared in 1862, it terrified a group of security guards who were probably thinking that wasn't what they signed up for. When the men opened fire, the specter disappeared, leaving the guards shocked and speechless. The demon reappeared in January 1898. As a watchman was patrolling the halls, he spotted a small black cat heading his way. But with each step, the kitten grew larger and larger. Some accounts say it grew as large as a tiger, while others claim it was the size of an elephant. Either way, the cat was massive and a thing of such horror that the guard was so petrified that he couldn't move. Just feet away, the demon cat opened its fangs, let out a roar, and pounced at its victim. But before it could tear the watchman apart, the creature just disappeared. The cat has reappeared several times over the years, most frequently in the basement underneath the Senate. Freakier still, it's said that the demon cat often appears right before disaster strikes. The monster allegedly popped up before Lincoln was shot, before the stock market crashed in 1929, and before JFK was assassinated. Fortunately, the demon cat hasn't shown up in recent years, but people are always on the lookout for this supernatural panther. There's no telling when it or some national disaster might strike again. The Jersey Devil is one of the most famous monsters in American folklore. According to legend, it was born to a human mother in 1735, then morphed into a horned winged beast. After killing its mom, the devil disappeared into the New Jersey pine barrens. Since then, the devil has been seen multiple times, most notably during 1909. Between January 16th and the 23rd, the monster was spotted by numerous witnesses in both New Jersey and Philadelphia. People were so scared of the beast that schools were shut down, businesses were closed, and trolley lines allegedly hired armed guards. Witnesses described the Jersey Devil in all sorts of crazy ways. Some said it was 3 feet tall, while others said 6. Some said it had a ram's head, others said it possessed monkey hands, while some claimed it even looked like a kangaroo. Everyone agreed it walked on 2 legs and had leathery wings and a nasty disposition. On January 21st, the devil attacked a trolley car in Haddon Heights, New Jersey, frightening the passengers inside. Shortly afterward, it appeared in Philadelphia and supposedly began spitting fire at a frightened housewife. Hours later, the devil landed atop a house in West Collingswood. Firefighters tried to knock it off with a water hose, but that only made the devil mad. After a shower of stones forced it to retreat, the devil ended up in Camden, where it attacked Mary Sorbinsky's dog. Fortunately, Sorbinsky saved her poor pet by beating the creature with a broom. While the devil didn't claim any human lives in 1909, it left quite an impression, and today its legend still looms large over the entire state. Perhaps the strangest story of World War I allegedly occurred on April 30th, 1918, when a British patrol boat off the coast of Ireland spotted a German submarine. Expecting a battle, the Brits attacked, but the U-boat didn't return fire. Weirder still, the Germans willingly surrendered. The British were puzzled by the situation, until the German commander explained why he was so willing to give up. According to the tale, the encounter began when the sub surfaced to recharge its batteries, but as the Germans floated atop the water, a massive sea monster crawled up the side of the ship. Witnesses said the creature had gigantic eyes, devilish horns, and an impressive set of knife-like teeth. The strange beast then attacked the forward mount gun, latching on with its mouth in an attempt to rip the ship apart. Horrified, the Germans began firing, but the creature was dead set on having a U-boat for dinner. As it gnawed away, the monster began twisting the submarine upside down. Moments away from sinking beneath the waves, the sailors unloaded their guns, finally forcing the horned beast to retreat into the sea. Unfortunately, the submarine was too damaged to dive, but before the nightmare could return, the British arrived. Of course, not everyone believes this story. As skeptics have pointed out, the British commander made no mention of a sea monster in his official report, and historians say the story was first told on the internet in 2005. While some people regard Bigfoot as a huggable Wookiee, others claim this North American ape has a bad attitude, and if you get too close to this surly Sasquatch, it might start throwing stuff in your direction. In May 2015, a woman in Jones Creek, Texas, was driving down a country road when she saw something in the street. At first, she thought maybe it was a fallen tree, but as she got closer, she realized this was no hunk of wood. The mysterious object suddenly stood up, revealing itself, she swore, to be a Bigfoot. And if that's not weird enough already, she went on to say that that's when the cryptid reared back and threw a snake at her car. While she didn't get a photo of the creature, the woman did put the snake in her freezer as evidence, not to mention as a twisted kind of souvenir. Of course, this isn't the only time a Lone Star Sasquatch has decided to practice its pitching skills. Cryptozoologist Bob Garrett claims that during a 2014 expedition, he and his son were pinned in their truck by a whole family of hairy monsters. The creatures hurled sticks and dirt clods at the pickup before jumping up and down in frustration. When the Bigfoot family got about 30 feet away from the truck, Garrett decided it was a good enough story and exercised the better part of valor.
On the ground, there was a footprint. A big footprint.
Aracariguama is a little Brazilian town, but you could hardly call it quiet. Villagers have reported all sorts of strange sightings, but without a doubt, the most troubling incident occurred on March 4, 1946, when João Prestes Filho decided to spend the day fishing. When he returned home, he was all alone, or so he thought. Suddenly, a bright beam of light entered through the window. Filho felt like his skin was on fire and he couldn't move his hands. Thinking fast, he used his teeth to open the door and he escaped to his sister's house. When he arrived, Filho's body was horribly burned above the waist. Strangely, his clothes and hair were fine, but his hands and feet looked like boiled meat. Adding to the mystery, Filho claimed he had been attacked by something otherworldly. Soon, Filho was transported to a nearby hospital where, according to an orderly, the flesh began falling off his bones. Few, if any, can survive that, and it wasn't long before the fisherman was dead. There's been a lot of speculation about what happened on the day, especially considering his hair, clothes, and home were untouched. Some claim he was attacked by malicious extraterrestrials, while others surmised he was accidentally burned by the propulsion system of an alien ship. Some villagers think he was attacked by fireball-like ghosts that haunt the region, but will probably never find any evidence as to what actually happened. Filho's family refused to return to the house, so police had it torn down. William Ramsey certainly seemed like your average Londoner. He was married, had a daughter, and worked as a carpenter, but many claim Ramsey had a pretty unusual history with the paranormal. When Ramsey was 9, he was supposedly possessed by a spirit that gave him super strength and insane anger issues, and in 1983, that malevolent spirit decided to come back.
Then I just literally flew off the handle as though I was mad at somebody. Just went into total rage, and I mean a rage.
One day in December, Ramsey was suddenly overcome by a pain in his chest. Worried for his health, he rushed to the nearby South End Hospital, and that's when the animal within took over. When Ramsey arrived at the ER, he grabbed a nurse and savagely bit her arm. Luckily, a police officer and an intern managed to get Ramsey under control despite his insane strength. Ramsey was then sent to a mental hospital, but doctors couldn't find anything wrong with the carpenter aside from the biting. Ed and Lorraine Warren, however, were sure Ramsey had been possessed by a wolf spirit.
This man was the first case of lycanthropy that we ever had come across.
The Warrens were a well-known exorcist couple, and they flew Ramsey out to Connecticut, where they summoned a team of spiritual professionals. Along with the Warrens, there was a renowned bishop, a paranormal expert, some reporters, and up to 6 bodyguards in case things got hairy. As the bishop tried to drive out the werewolf, Ramsey rose up and nearly tore the holy man to shreds. Thankfully, the wolf spirit was exorcised just in time. According to the Warrens, Ramsey flew back to England and returned to a normal life. On August 21, 1955, Glennie Langford was planning a nice dinner at her home in Kelly, Kentucky. Along with her children and their respective families, Langford invited a friend, Billy Ray Taylor. It should have been a pleasant occasion, but then the aliens showed up. Things started getting crazy when Taylor saw a bright light in the sky. According to some stories, he then spotted a UFO dropping to the ground. Soon after, mysterious creatures appeared. They stood about 3 feet tall and had enormous eyes, strange antennae, and sharp claws. The beings flew from tree to tree, landed on top of the house, and began looking through the windows. While the family only saw 2 creatures at a time, they estimated that there were at least 12 aliens trying to break into the house. Terrified, the family fought back. As the kids hid underneath the beds, the adults kept the goblins at bay by firing their guns. But according to reports, the bullets were useless against these metallic creatures. Finally, 4 hours into the fight, a few family members drove to the nearby police station for help, and they brought back an army of city cops, state troopers, deputy sheriffs, and military police officers. But when the reinforcements arrived, the mysterious creatures had vanished. While some skeptics believe the alien invaders were actually particularly aggressive owls, the Langford family certainly didn't think so. Shortly after the encounter, Glennie Langford and her clan packed their bags and fled their home, never to return. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Grunge videos about the world's most mysterious creatures are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.